I want to share a story with you about how I was able to overcome alcohol and drugs. Now, I had been drinking. I stopped drinking probably in my 30s, sometime in there. And I started drinking very, very early on because that's what I saw at home. My dad would drink alcohol and he would turn into Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, as I've mentioned before. My dad was very abusive towards my mother. If it wasn't a slap, it was a push or some kind of utensil where she would end up in the hospital with stitches. I learned about alcohol. I learned about the numbing of alcohol very early on. And of course, a few other things along the way. I drank excessively during my teen years. I was a pretty healthy boy. I wasn't sick by any means. I was really thin and small. And I hung out with the rest of the guys. Well, one of my buddies that I grew up with, he passed away. Gilbert, he's still around. And a couple of others have passed away. I needed to get away from the environment. There was a lot of domestic violence in my neighborhood back in Connecticut. Of course, I had it at home. And then when I went into the outside to the streets, I had to contend with that also. So it was pretty hard on me early on in life. I lived with a lot of fear. I was scared. What was I scared of? I wasn't sure what I was afraid of, but deep down inside there was a fear in me. And eventually I come to find out that I had a fear of men that were bigger than myself. When I was in the military, I drank a lot of alcohol, a lot of mixed drinks, did some gambling, but I did a lot of drinking, excessive drinking, well, to the point where at one point they sent me to Oak Knoll Hospital there in right near above San Leandro, California, for a 3-day evaluation. I was probably 21 or 22 years of age at that point. I remember one time I was out, I think we were in Italy. I got my shoes stolen. I was so drunk. Brand new pair of Nike shoes that I had bought. Walked back to the ship. I could have gotten in a lot of trouble that day, but I didn't. I think they let me go. I just kept on going. I kept on going. Nothing really mattered to me. I was just, it's like I was just wandering around looking for something. Felt like I was looking for something, and I could never find it. I couldn't find it in women. I've been all over the world. I couldn't find it in drinking. I wasn't too much into stuff during those days, so I didn't really have much. So my liberty and my time off consisted of drinking alcohol and hanging out with people that's what they wanted to do. I was in pain. I was afraid. Deep down inside, when I went into the military shocks your brain so that you become a different person. And you do the bid, right? You do the work. They train you. And as long as you're in that environment, that's the mindset. But what happened when I got out in 1993? Oh, there's so many stories that I can share. I'll have to write a few of them down and share them. But the main theme of this video is just to show you what I did to overcome. Oh, look at that. To overcome problem gambling. By the way, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona here, just doing some exercise at a next gen event here with Coach Travis, Coach Minky, and some other super coaches. Well, when I got out in '93, I continued to drink. I continued to use, I got into more drugs, cocaine. I was living in Hayward. This was in '93. I still had 4 years to go. And my life went straight downhill. It was hanging out at the local pubs. I had this one girlfriend. We weren't going anywhere. We were just basically using each other, I guess, when I look back now. And it was a very dark time in my life. I think back at that apartment that I lived. You know, I just, and this woman that was, when I first met her, I didn't know this, she was going through a divorce. I ended up connecting with her. She came on the naval base. Anyways, I ended up moving in with her when I got out in '93. And that's when everything just, I'm not going to blame her, but it was my fault because I was the one that was making the decisions. And it was horrible hanging out there at that place. I think the woman had a good heart, but she was she had a lot of damage also, a lot of emotional contention that was well hidden. Well, I didn't have any problems with women. I wasn't married at that point, but I've always had problems with women because I didn't know how to treat women and I didn't know how to be a man. And on top of that, the only time that I really was when I was drinking alcohol. Well, I could be around women and I'd approach women and around with alcohol. But other than that, I was an introvert. I was very shy, scared. That's who I was, because that's what I was groomed to become. Well, it got to a point where I had to leave Hayward. It got really bad. One night I came, and I guess this woman that I was with was out dancing, and next thing you know, there's another guy involved, and I was like at wit's end at that place, at that point. I believe I went from there. I started going, I actually went to a rehabilitation center in Hayward is what happened. I don't know the exact timing, but it was sometime in the 90s. Yeah, I got myself, I basically just gave up my car. I took my belongings and whatever I had, I went to the church and I said, I need help. There's a Full Gospel Temple in Hayward, Mission Ministries. And they told me, yeah, we're going to have a rehab home. We're going to open up. You can be part of that program. I said, sure. In the meantime, they were sending me out I was homeless for about a week and a half or so. And then they opened up the shelter and they got me inside. And basically, I was there for about 2.5 years. And that's how, through that rehabilitation center, prayer, Bible reading, kneeling down on chairs every single morning and in the evenings, I was able to overcome my drugs and the alcoholism that was going to take me down if I didn't stop. Probably would have taken me down if I didn't stop. So, but the difficult one was gambling. That was my second awakening. Anyways, I'm gonna end here because I've never really shared this like this, and I'm hoping that it will. It's a little bouncy and maybe pick up some air, but I hope that, my friend, I hope that there's something in this story that benefits you. And if you're stuck, if you're a person that's, you're struggling and you catch this video and you need some coaching or you need some help, I do have resources. I do have, I offer personal coaching myself. some people can't handle personal coaching, so they have to get into a program or go to a rehab. Well, I've got access to all of those services. So if you're in need, my friend, don't drink your life away, man. Don't drug your life away. Make a change. If I can do it, you can do it. Santos Rolon Jr., Soldiersofselfmastery.com. My information will always be below. Message me. I may be able to help you get out of that situation, that dark situation that you're in. Until my next time, my friend, it takes courage to be you. It takes courage to follow me. I'll see you at the top on the inside.